Hello my lovelies and welcome back to Art a la Carte. A well-known fact about me is my obsession with sketchbooks. I love sketchbooks. I collect them and I hoard them, and if I see a cool one, I just can't pass it up. And I think I might have found the coolest sketchbook. I am so excited about this sketchbook. Oh my goodness, you don't even know. Unless you've seen the sketchbook before, you don't even know the awesomeness of this. So first, it's this leather bound and it has a little key that holds there's no lock to it, but I love the key because it just kind of keeps the strap in here. Let's have a detailed closer look at this key because I love skeleton keys. These are so beautiful. And then it's on this nice little strap, and that keeps the sketchbook all together. And are you ready for this? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this paper. Oh, I feel like I just found an ancient relic sketchbook. So many pages. I don't even know how many pages. 3, 4, 5, 120 pages if you only count one side. So the texture of the paper is like a really soft watercolor paper. It's super fibrous. I wouldn't say it's a heavy grade watercolor. I think there's going to be some warping to it if I put water to it. I love the raw edges. Every page is different. So if you look at it, you can see that, oh goodness, I should know terminology. Signatures? Yeah, that's what they're called, signatures. So there's 6 signatures in this beautiful sketchbook. I got this on Amazon. If you're interested, I will post a link to where I got mine so you can check it out. This is my thought. This is 120. I'm thinking about reviving the 100 character draw challenge. This is going to take me a bit of a chunk of time to get through all of these. Wouldn't this be a fabulous book to be able just to look through and see all these amazing illustrations of just different random characters that I came up with? I love it. So if you haven't seen the first 100 character draw challenge, is where I drew 100 different characters. I drew 3 to 5 characters each session and then had you guys vote in the comment section below which character you liked the best. I'd like to do that. So yeah, I'm gonna skip the first page just because I don't know, in sketchbook etiquette you always skip the first page. I think it's because you want to protect your drawings, and so this is kind of like the protecting page. Yeah, and they don't have to all fit together in one cohesive story. So I could have sci-fi or fantasy or modern day, whatever. All right, so let's just jump into this. The first drawing in the official rebooting of the 100 character draw challenge. Whew. So I have to say I'm more excited about this challenge than I was my original 100 character draw challenge. Mainly because the paper is much bigger. So the original one, the cards were like 1 inch by 3 inches, or maybe it was 2 inches by 3 inches. They were insanely small. So it was hard to get into some fun detail. It was tone paper, which originally I didn't like. Being on tone paper was a little bit more challenging because some of my colors didn't pop. But because this is a larger paper, I think I feel like I could go in with, you know, more of a gouache if I wanted to, pull out some lighter tones in here. I don't know, I just think it's more serviceable. But again, I have not played with this paper yet, so this might be a really quick challenge if I realize this paper, while looks cool, maybe isn't cool, but so far it's taking everything nicely. I don't want super wavy hair, I just kind of want like an untamed mane of hair. Like maybe she'd throw it up in a quick ponytail or something, get it out of her way, but for the most part she lets it hang wild and crazy. So trying to test it to see the feathering properties. It moves a little bit, so when you touch the paper with the tip of the marker, you want to see just briefly when I touch it, how far does that spot spread? and that kind of lets you know you're feathering. So if you ever had a drawing with your Copic marker and it goes over the lines and you're like, oh, it doesn't stay where I want, it's because the paper you have is a very absorptive paper and it's taking the ink and spreading it out. So you can still use markers with that, you just don't take the ink all the way to the edge. You kind of have to learn how far you can push that ink before it'll flood over your line. So the size is like, I'd say 5x7-ish, maybe a little bit bigger than a 5x7. And I know you, when I ordered it, you could get it in a larger size, but I didn't want too big of a sketch journal. Because the bigger the pieces, the longer it takes to draw them. I definitely wanted it bigger than, you know, my last one, but didn't want to, you know, so big that it takes forever to draw one character. So Copic marker, or any kind of alcohol-based marker, works really well in combination with color pencil, as long as you put the marker down first and then the color pencil. Markers do not like to go over top of other mediums as much. These also work really good with watercolor as well, so. All right, I'm really curious to see how the white is going to show up, so let's go ahead and add the white from just a colored pencil and see how that does. I think that pulls in pretty nice. But I bet you also your gel pen is going to work really great with this. I'm just going to tap this color into a couple places just to give that shadow. Like under her waist tie, I'm going to just add in a little bit more shading under there, and it's just going to pop that waist tie up. Okay, I need to refill this marker. Hang on. You get to see me refill a marker. So for those of you who have never seen me refill a marker, this is how you do it. You take both lids off. If you don't want to get ink on your finger, you can use tweezers or tissue, but you just pull off the chisel nib. Do not pull off the brush nib. Then you get your marker, make sure that it's the same color ink. I won't tell you how many times I've almost put the wrong ink color in my marker. Hold it this way, and then you just insert and begin to squeeze gently. And you'll know when you'll refill it because it will go flooding out everywhere. So practice makes perfect, or better, and you'll kind of learn what your marker will do. So some of the things you want to look for is you'll see that the tip of this marker is kind of a paler white. That lets me know that it's drying out, and so as the ink comes down, that will disappear. That's also where the ink is going to pour out, is at the bottom. So I put about 20 drops in, and you can see that that white tip has definitely disappeared. You can also tap it on your paper, or for me, my knuckle, and you just see how, just by tapping it, how much ink is coming out. So I'd say this is pretty good. I'm just going to give it a couple more drops, just so that it'll be really juicy, because we want juicy. And I put this in, and now I'm going to tip it this way so that the ink will come down here, because this is pretty dry. See, if I rub this, you're not getting any ink out of that because it's pretty dry. And see, if I'm tapping that, you're just now starting to feel a little bit of ink coming down. If you need to, you can actually drop a couple drops on that just to really wetten that up. And you put both your lids on. I let it rest for a second while I put the lid back on my ink. Pop it back in my case of refills, and should be good to go. So let's give this a little try now. Much better. You can definitely feel the difference. People ask me, what is the best brand of alcohol markers? And I will say, when I first started using them, Copics all the way. But really, they have gotten some nice brands out. So it just depends on what you're looking for. I am looking for refillable because they're an investment. And if you have to buy a whole new marker every time it runs out, one, I tend to get stingy and not want to use my markers if I know they're going to run out quickly. So I don't like to play with them. Two, it can be really expensive to have to buy a new marker each time. And then three, if I'm having to replace this marker, that's a substantial amount of plastic that is being tossed away. So I like to refill when possible. So Copics are important to me, but I do find that there are more and more brands that are getting refills. So now we have to just give her a name. I don't know what Yana means. I don't know if she looks like a Yana, but there we go. That's her name. I just named her. So that's the bleed through on the back. So definitely glad I have this. Actually though, only just a little tiny smudge from her head right there. The rest did not bleed through onto the other page. It bled through this. So that's okay. I'm going to put a date on the back of this too, so that I keep track of how long this took me. So this one is 5/23/21 for this one. First one down. Yay! Oh, isn't this going to be fabulous? This kind of art all the way through. I think if I can actually do this, you guys, this is going to be one of my favorite books. So normally I do more than one character design. Not going to do it because we did the review of the book as well, and I think this video is just going to be super too long. So I will start working on the next couple of designs. There's not going to be any voting on this one, but what I'd like for you guys to do is in the comment section below, flood comments with name suggestions, not for this character, but for future character suggestions, because I need some help with names. I'm not the greatest at naming things, so give me your name suggestions. If you're excited to see the rest of this book get filled up, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll get notified every time I upload a new video, which hopefully will be a lot more frequently than I have in the past. If you're doing your own character design challenge, I always love to see what you guys are creating, so make sure to tag me in your social media posts. I'll leave all the information in the description box below. So until next time, guys, thank you for hanging out with me. God bless you guys. Keep being awesome and creative, and we'll see you in the next art video. Bye-bye.